It's me, Rain9x9. You might know me from Twitter and stuff, but I just recently decided to properly make a YouTube channel as it's been requested a lot, and I plan to post a lot of tutorials and such on here. Um, Mainly just time lapses and whatever I feel like adding in. I might even start streaming on here, but yeah, today it's going to be just a quick, sort of relatively quick video, okay, showcasing how I draw a simple face and my thought processes, and a sneaky little tutorial on how to draw a front face portrait. And basically I just explain my thoughts throughout this video. But I hope you guys enjoy. It is my first video, so um, please cut me some slack when it comes to the quality of it. I ensure you I'll get better, but yeah, here we go. Such, I obviously start with a semi-guideline, depending on the face. Like, you can start with no guidelines or whatever, but generally it helps out. And then I would go into immediately sketching the eyes, because I feel like that's what helps me place the facial features the most on the body, and I add the pupils in, just to give a sense of what the character's like. I add in the little form details around the eyelids and stuff, add in the eyebrows and all that, just to make it, I don't know, fit more well. And then here I can just build in the nose, right next to the eye, because that's generally where it would go anyways. In terms of like facial expression and such, I don't really have a plan initially, especially for a drawing like this. I'm just drawing to draw, with no clear plan on what the character is going to be like. And I would say if you do this a lot, it will eventually lead into same face syndrome, which is what you don't want. But this is just a little walkthrough on how I would draw a face. So as you can see, I went with the cheeks, obviously following the flow of the face in the direction of how the face is being placed. I'm going out and then in and then over, to signify the chin, and then I bring it around to this point, without fully completing it up here, because I like to do the ear next, which I follow the eye line at the very top, lead the ears out, and as I go for a more of a exaggerated look, my ears will be either bigger or smaller than usual. That's why it's not always good to study artists when learning to draw, because they can exaggerate a lot, and it's good to learn the basics originally. So what I did here was to sort of signify the start of the forehead, which will eventually, like if you use, like just imagine it, bring back around for the skull, you see, allowing for her head to be a lot more shaped. But I don't usually draw the skull like this because I'm lazy. But continuing off of that, I'm going to go from the bottom of the chin here, start her neck down, and then bring it back from the edge of from the back of the skull here. Now that I've got like the relative like shape of the face going on, and then like the type of character, obviously it's female because I draw female characters the most. I then start from where I would assume the hairline to begin. I don't essentially draw it every time. Depending on the hairstyle I'm going for, if I want the hairline to show, I draw it, but for here we're just going to start in. I do very loose shapes, curving in the same direction, to sort of build character in the hair, make it a lot more flowy. And then from the sides here, I drag it down a bit, doing these nice quick shapes, spiky shapes, because I want the hair to be a little more spiky. And instead of bringing it down this way, I'm then just gonna curl it around her head like this, and then bring up the hair just near the top of the skull, where the skull would be, to just sit on the character's body a lot nicer. So here, just bring it down, and then here the hair will go down this way. So from here you can plan whatever pose you want. So here I'm just going to put her left shoulder in front, and then sort of just imagine her right shoulder on the other side, draw a collarbone in, because that's something I like to accentuate. More hair details, bring the hair down. I'm going to just stick with a portrait for now. I'm not going to draw the rest of the body. I'll probably do that in another episode if you guys want me to. And then I just add in my own little signature details with the shading and whatnot. I darken the eyes usually because it's just something that I prefer to draw when dealing with characters, because I feel like it gives them a lot more of a striking nature. And then I just add in random little details going by, go into the hair, add more strands, depending on the character, and then I usually pretty much always add in ear piercings, so I feel like doing that for this character as well, so why not? Just go a little crazy with them. Also, yeah, it just depends on the type of character that you're making. If they don't wear ear piercings, you obviously don't have to do that. And then generally, yeah, just I usually do the guidelines on the one layer, but in order to avoid cluttering for you guys, I just decided to do it on a separate one. And then here you go. Work on the mouth more, and you can decide whether or not you want the character to have visible lips or not. I vary it with my characters, so I can have like some variety in their designs. And then add a little useless shirt, and there you go. Nice simple face, sketchy face. Alright, now, here is where I'm going to give you a more step-by-step, quick little guide on how to draw a face facing frontwards. At least in my style. I mean, everyone's art style is different, but this is how I would do it in my style. So generally I don't start with this many guidelines, but I'm just going to do this in order to make it a little more simple with everyone. So you have your circle to show the base of the head, eye signifying the eye line, and then this part at the bottom to signify the jawline. Something you can do to make it help better is add this sort of paper-like look to it, which is what I use for a lot of stuff when I'm signifying the direction of the face, like so, and it just helps you plan your details on better. But that's up to you. So, with this shape, and with this malformation of scribbles, we're going to start off with obviously the easiest part to do, at least in my opinion, which is the eyes. So generally a normal manga styling would have you starting the eyes like so, curving, going diagonally up, curving to the right or the other side, and then curving around like so. What this does is it helps you, at least it's good to pay attention to the form of these things, especially when you're dealing with face shapes and stuff. It just helps you understand why eyes behave this way. And a lot of people hate drawing two eyes like simultaneously without using, I don't know, copy and paste or symmetry tool, but we're not weak here and we're going to actually try because you need to think about this. A nice way to deal with symmetrical eyes, especially in the front perspective, is to draw each part simultaneously. So one line up, one line up, one line to the side, one line to the side, curve around, and then generally the eyes will be on the same level. Even though these are a little wonky, I hope you get what I mean. It basically, don't rush through things, and it will help you understand your character details a lot more, and you'll be able to draw a lot better and understand better. So on top of the eyes, we're going to add the eyelids on top of here, essentially just to accentuate the form. Eyebrows on top, obviously, to signify the brow line. I usually eyeball them. The line here across the side that I did for the eyes, I don't use that for the eyebrows, I use that for the eyes themselves. But whatever. Essentially from here we're going to understand where the ears come from, which are going to be parallel to the top of the eyelids, so extending them out like so, just help you understand. You can mess with the details and the size of them later, but for now we're just going to get into the jaw. So from the jaw, you don't want to leave too big of a gap between the starting of the jaw and the starting on the side of the eye here. So we're going to start decent distance, bring it downwards, meet the bottom of the circle, bring it towards the jawline here. And then you're going to repeat the same steps on this side. So leave the gap, bring it down, meet the bottom here, drag it in. Now, I don't like being this technical when drawing because I feel like it removes a lot of the life of the drawing for me, but this is just helping you construct the face easier. So from here, you're going to essentially, I'm going to explain to you how I do it. Essentially, you want to picture the distance between the nose and the eyes and the mouth to the chin and then the mouth to the nose, essentially. So the nose obviously won't be all the way down here, it won't be all the way up here, but it will meet in the middle of where the eyes are, allowing you for a more symmetrical face. Because if you feel your own face or look at your own face in a picture, you can understand that the nose isn't too far away from the eyes itself. It sort of sits around a little bit more than half of the face, like halfway of the face. So I draw a circle to indicate the top of the nose. It's more of a stylistic thing, but you can draw the nostrils here just to help you feel better. And now with the mouth doesn't sit in the middle of the direct middle of the nose and the chin. The mouth actually sits, if you see from a, what's it called, sideways perspective, the mouth sits more on the upper half between the nose and the chin. So that's what you want to replicate when drawing the mouth on here. So you see? And bam. And then obviously the eyes, pupils are the same. If you want a more stylistic way, don't draw a perfect circle when dealing with the pupils. Draw a more rounded circle, uneven on sides and such, and then you'll be able to get a face like this anyways. And then same rules as before, dealing with the hair, start from the hairline of where you will picture the hairline to be, bring it down, and depending on the hairstyle that you want, follow or don't follow the same flow of everything, and then just construct the face yourself. Now with the neck usually starts around this part of the jaw, not directly up here, because there you go, you got Chadius Maximus. You don't want Chadius Maximus, especially when I'm drawing like a female character like this. I don't want her neck to be as thick. We're just gonna add some eyelashes because I like to draw eyelashes. So from here we're gonna start around 3/4 of the way through, around this part, leaving some space in between, and then we're gonna go downwards in towards the neck, and you can even connect it like here, but that's not how the neck's gonna actually be. So that we're just using this as a guide to accentuate the form of the neck. But around the halfway point of meeting down here, you can then drag downwards and then outwards like so, and repeat on the same side. You see? Now she has a neck. Now from here, I'm just gonna continue the hair up top. I'm gonna draw a little. Do a little braid or whatever on this side. Don't ask me how to draw braids. I actually don't know. I just randomly scribble till it ends up looking like braids, and then bam. So from here I'm going to draw the sides down more and make it look like it's connecting more to the braids themselves. And then bada bing bada boom, you have yourself a nice front perspective portrait. You can draw the collarbone and deal with the details of the rest of it how you like. I can't be bothered drawing the rest of the body. I'll show that in a separate video if you guys want me to, how I deal with my own anatomy and stuff like that. But yeah, that's a very very constructive way of dealing with the front face perspective. But as you can see with how I deal with all these other faces, I follow similar formulas when dealing with the faces. But if I want to change something significant about the character in terms of their emotions or character type, I obviously mix and match the eyes in order to fit the type of character that I want. So let's say I was drawing a serious character or something. I wouldn't go with the round sort of look that I did before, but essentially I would start with a very sharp look, curve it around the bottom because I like to do so, and then I would follow the same. This is doing without guidelines, obviously. I'm just going through how I would deal with the eyes. I follow my own brow line in a sense of like imagination. Add the eyelids, curl in the eyebrow line like this, bring in, put the eyebrows in, very serious, very angry, and then I'll draw the nose in. Same stuff as before, but obviously you got a different type of character here. I'm a lot more sharper look than this character is. And the eyes are shaped differently. So from here I'm going to go from the bottom at the eyelashes here, eyelashes there, curl in. We're going to do a little more of a slimmer face rather than a roundish. Just at the very sharp details with the chin in, everything, darken in these sides. Accentuate the nose line on this side to give it more form. I'm going to show her forehead for once. Like so. Bring these in. Same deal for this side. Just curve it around the forehead like that. You can even add little shadings if you want. I'm going to add another nostril there. Neck downwards. But we're going to make this pose a little more downwards facing, so I'm going to add a shoulder line, her traps there. And then this side of the traps here. Collarbone in. It's a little off, but no guidelines, so don't blame me. Ear in, big ol' ear. And then we're gonna just continue the hairstyle. I don't have a plan for the hairstyle, so it's gonna look clapped, but not much we can do about that right now. I'll do a separate video on like how I draw hairstyles and whatever, like how I deal with coming up with them, or just, I don't know, designing them. But yeah, there you go. So you have a similar process as this one, but I went and changed some more of the key features in order to change the character's look and to avoid same face syndrome. Eyes are pretty easy to get the hang of. You can draw them any shape and size. You have these type of eyes, obviously the sharper type of eyes. You have roundish eyes, like so. All types of different eyes you can do. You can do heavy on the top, light on the bottom, light on the top, heavy on the bottom. Basically, it's your own little oyster in a sense. When you design a character, if they wear heavy makeup, if they wear light makeup, blah 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 blah. It works out pretty differently with all of them. And obviously, if you draw one thing for a while, you get really good at it. Like my side profile, it's the same sort of formula for each of these, but I can change the perspective slightly. So this one's more this way, this one's more this way, and this one's facing rather downwards in terms of the face. But it's the same formula, same for this one. And it's obviously just a learning curve for everything. I'll do a separate video on side profiles. This is just more of a explaining how I construct the face or hair and stuff like that. But if you enjoyed, drop a like, subscribe. Almost said drop a follow. Subscribe, and I'll try to push out at least one video per week of different tutorials. Let me know in the comments below. Obviously over time we'll get better at editing and stuff. It's just my first time dealing with this. But yeah, let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know if you learned something, and I'll definitely, hold up, for my own sake, I'm gonna get rid of this because it looks better without it. There we go. Yep. So just subscribe if you liked. I'll probably do another tutorial either soon or next week, and that will probably cover just how I draw bodies and stuff, and I'll get into more in-depth detail on tutorials and stuff that people want. But yeah, this is my first video. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a lovely day, and catch you guys in the next episode.